us down here. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? We're live from the 2019 National in Chicago with Susan from Top. Susan, what's going down?
You were like the first person here at the show to call me Susan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it goes Suze?
Suze.
Okay. Susan
I wasn't
Sports?
sure who was on the show. I was confused for a second.
Oh, where's Susan? It was like a Wade Jones moment from the Dwayne Wade thing. But yeah, we're excited to have you on, and we'll start off talking about Topps' plans at the show. You guys are doing the Bowman Pack again, and let everybody know out there that's on the fringe of coming down to the show what they can expect from Topps at the National.
So Topps is like our booth. First of all, when you have tired feet, Topps is the booth you want to go to, because our carpeting it's like plush
nice.
carpeting. It's like literally going from like walking on concrete all day to like walking on clouds.
Wow, nice.
So for a little rest, you're gonna want to come by the Topps booth. But then for some Pack Wars, come by for Pack Wars. We have the Wrapper Redemption, which includes exclusive Bowman refractors that you can't get anywhere else.
Nice.
Come by for that.
Nice.
We have signings with Graham Elliott, the chef, who was in Allen and Ginter. We have signings with Hunter Green, the Reds prospect. And we also have a signing with an artist whose name is Greg. I always say his last name wrong, but it's Greg. He draws the portraits for the 150 years of baseball sets that we do on Topps.com.
Nice.
And we have a Jackie Robinson card that he had done available for sale, and he will be here signing fine art prints of those as well.
Nice. So you're talking about is anybody taking a nap on the carpet? Is it that comfortable?
You know what? In years past, we have had people who are like literally like laid across the carpet. We're like, hey, can you at least go to the side?
Yeah, right in the middle. People are trying to step over you, might knock down the booth, but
we also have our Gary V set that we did a collaboration with Gary V, and he picked all the cards that went in the set, like the subsets, the players, the designs, and those are for sale at our booth too for $20.
Awesome. Have you got a chance to sit down with Gary V yet?
I saw him yesterday. He was wheeling and dealing, very busy.
Does that guy drink a lot of coffee, or is that just natural?
I have no idea.
I mean, I don't even, listening to him, I don't even need coffee. I'm like, I'm energetic. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go work out, run around or something, I'm ready to go. He's definitely a motivational type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people were over there yesterday. I mean, you're talking about, it was like kids and adults, like everybody was flocking to him. Everybody, he's
superstar.
Also motivational, and it's super positive too. And that's what I think people are really drawn to, is his positivity.
Definitely, yeah. I've actually followed him before, he got back into cards, and I watched some of those videos, and, it's like, yeah, go do it. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for my day. Gary V's got me ready for my day. So
he started with wine, right?
Yeah. He did like wine.com, I think, or something like that. So
very cool.
And now is Graham Elliott, is he going to be cooking out there at Topps' booth, or?
It might be against our regulations here in this building, but I've decided I'm going to try to get some recipes from him.
Well, if he was cooking, people would truly never leave the Topps booth. If you have the carpet, people are taking naps or eating, get some hammocks up there.
We could do the Topps barbecue next year.
Ooh, there you go.
2020 National, I think we've got an idea. I mean, start feeding people, and it's good promotion, It's definitely. Just you guys wouldn't be able to serve like panini sandwiches, right? You'd have to stay with like Subway or.
I don't know what that is.
Never heard of that panini.
Yeah, I know.
Is it good?
I don't know. I've never had one. So. So we got a couple releases on the calendar for you guys, Tribute and Sterling. We're excited about those products. You can check that out at Mojobreak.com. We'll be breaking both of those products on release day. Now I know Sterling went down from it's a five card pack now, right? From a 18 card. Sorry, putting you on the spot. I know you told me, but
I'm sure.
I'm such a Sterling fanboy nerd that I couldn't let it spew out of my mouth right now, because that's what got me back in the hobby was Sterling. So Dan's a big fan of Sterling as well.
Doug, you like Sterling?
No, not
Why
at
don't you
all.
talk about it?
Yeah, I'm going to
talk about your love.
I think I'm going to get a tattoo of Sterling on me somewhere, because I love it so much. But I had the 2009 Trout Sterling, and it's the one.
Oh, I have that too.
The one that got away. I sold it for $25 when I packed.
Maybe I bought it from you. I bought it for $25.
Did you? That would be funny if we linked it back and it was me.
Because I grew up in New York, but I lived in South Jersey for 8 years as a newspaper reporter, and Mike Trout was in high school at the time, so I'm covering his basketball game, like silly things. And you didn't know this kid was going to blow up and be Mike Trout. And when he got drafted in 2009, when he had cards, I'm like, you know what? I covered this kid in high school, but man, I can't believe I'm spending $25 on this autograph card. But I bought it anyway, and I was like, it's fine. I'll just buy it. 25 seems a lot to me.
Right.
But I was like, but I'll
for
buy
this
it.
kid, yeah. Wow.
So maybe it was you.
Yeah.
Was it on? Did you sell it on eBay?
I did.
Oh my gosh! I bought your card.
You probably did. I wonder if we can find that somehow.
I still have it.
That's awesome. I bought a mini box from eBay, for $50, and get 3 autos. And I got the Trout, and the guy at the shop at the time was like, I think he's pretty good. And I put it on eBay, didn't expect much, and I'm like, well, I was like, wow, $25 is a lot.
No, I remember because we were roommates at that time, and you came home, and you're like, man, I bought a $50 box, and I sold 1 card for $25. I have 2 more autos, and basically only cost me $25.
Right? Yeah.
You're like I came up.
I don't even want to know how much it's worth.
Now I never forget that. No. I always bring it up. I'm all, man, I think that card's like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Who knows?
I'll never forget either.
I still have it. I'm gonna go back into my eBay history and see if I could see the transactions and see if it was you.
That would be funny. I want to try to look too, but I think it was 2011? No, it was probably 2009,
2010.
Yeah, that's crazy. So let's switch gears and talk about Stadium Club, which is one of our favorite products to break. I know you had some photos of some of your favorite designs. What's your favorite card from 2019 Stadium Club?
So I'm trying to think. I love Stadium Club as well. So I'm trying to think of all the cards from that year. I love the Ozzie Smith backflip in front of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I always love the images of the legendary players. Those are always really cool because it's lots of times in a Stadium Club you see images that you don't normally get to see of these guys. I'm trying to think of who some of them are this year, but those always stick out to me. The Harmon Killebrew.
Yeah, you tweeted that one out. That one's awesome.
On the I guess they were pushing him around. So it turns out he hurt himself. There was actually a story behind it, and then I felt bad. I was like, oh, I thought he was just having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, it looked like he was skateboarding on the thing, and I was just about to ask you. So he got hurt. So that's why they were they didn't have I guess back then I was like, hey, just throw him on that thing and wheel him around.
No injury card.
So how do you guys decide the photography for that? Because it's definitely a unique set. Is it a longer process to pick out the best photos for that set?
So our sports editors are the people who pick out the images that go on the cards. I had that job. That was actually my original job when I worked at Topps before what I'm doing now. And what you do is essentially we use Getty images, and you go through Getty images for different products, and you're like, okay, I'm going to use this image, that image, and as you're going through the images for all the different cards, there are images that always pop out to you. I can't use this on, let's say, Heritage,
right.
but it would be a cool picture for Stadium Club. I'm gonna save this one for later.
Right.
And as you kind of do that, you'll see them, but you know it's a good one for Stadium Club, so you kind of put it to the side and come back to it later when you have to finish pulling the images for Stadium Club. So I wouldn't say necessarily takes longer, but there's definitely a different thought process that goes into it because you don't want just a traditional throwing or batting or something. You want something that really catches your eye.
Now, is there a pool of photos, kind of like a Getty Images type of thing that you guys have to kind of pick from kind of at the beginning? Yeah,
I mean, we have a contract with Getty, so they have to be with Getty Images.
Yeah.
But they supply so many photos, especially of current players. You kind of never run out if you're looking for new photos.
Nice. Yeah, that's an interesting game because they probably take 5,000, 10,000 photos a game, and then they may not even get one picked, right? So the photographers themselves. So
yeah.
Then they're like, wow, I got my photos on a card, so that's why I got a pretty cool.
Yeah, we see that sometimes on social. Guys will be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my picture's on this card, and then they buy 50 copies because how could you not if your picture's on a card?
Now, you said in a tweet earlier that you can't wait for the clown horns at the National.
Yeah.
Was that directed at Alan Nars?
Yes, because come on, everything is wonderful with the horn. It's winner, Hong Kong.
It is that. Yeah, it's definitely a unique sound. Alan apologized to me I was like, you don't need to apologize. You had on the stage for the you guys' industry conference. And he's like, yeah, I'm the guy. You probably know me. I'm the loud guy at the National. And I'm like, hey, it doesn't bother me. He's like, yeah, people always tell me that I'm just way too loud. And I'm all, well, it's natural though. You're naturally excited, and that's how you do it.
He's not loud enough.
Yeah. I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's definitely real. It's he goes out there and he gets it going. So he's been doing Pack Wars for you guys, right?
Oh yeah, it's so cool. Like for people who haven't seen it, like you've heard it, you've seen it. But if you haven't, like, I always tell everybody who comes by the booth, like, come by. It's an experience. You'll not forget this. It's an experience you'll not forget. There were people yelling. There were people screaming. And it's cool because, like, Alan has, like, you know, his own shtick. He knows how to do it to get people all riled up. So it's like, hey, who's the tallest guy?
Yeah.
And you'll have somebody who has an Aaron Judge card, like, screaming in your face, 6'8", 6'8". And Alan pretends like he doesn't hear them. And he's like, oh, I have a 5'10" over here. And the kid's like, he's like 6. And you're like, wow. It gets really intense. But I love it. I think it's amazing.
And so, you know, we ran Pack Wars back in the day, but we had somebody running them for us. Is that like just the highest numbered card wins from the checklist? Is that how it breaks down?
Usually what he does is he pick different stats. So it could be like highest checklist card, like tallest person, heaviest person, like lightest person.
That's cool. Yeah.
Best overall batting average. So you just kind of pick use different stats to pick on it, just so everybody sort of has a chance, because we do get everybody gets a free pack. So you get like these sample packs that we have, and then you rip them open and like you get like 4 cards inside. So you look within your 4 cards of the stat that Alan's calling out at the time.
Nice. So, and you just had your 5-year anniversary for Topps, right? So it's been 5 years. How's it been? I mean, what's it from day one to now? How has things changed, or is it just kind of business as usual?
Well, day one, I was, like I said, my first job there was as sports editor, so I was, picking the images, doing all that stuff, and now I work on the marketing team, and so like my job overall has changed from. What's cool is that I have probably more influence or feedback on products, on like overall products now than I did before, which is a lot of fun because I feel like I come into it with an eye of a collector.
Right.
And I'm able to say like, collectors would love this. This would be something really cool collectors would really enjoy. And sometimes they're able to implement the stuff and sometimes they're not, it's just natural. And it's really exciting that, as somebody who's been a long time collector, that I can actually have influence on a product.
Now, do you guys kind of do research by watching breaks and going on the forums and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, like we have, everybody at Topps will tell you, like we have people who are always watching breaks, especially day one. Like we always want to see like what's happening right now. So like day one breaks, like I don't think a lot of work gets done in the office that day. Like usually we're just popping on breaks and like, did you see that hit? That was cool. We read the forums because we, at the same time we always want to stay abreast of what's going on in the hobby. Like we're not just gonna like put out a product and then pretend like it never happened. So we're always keeping up of like what's great, what's not so great, what's exciting, what can we do better, and and always looking how we can improve overall. Yeah,
and that's probably the beauty of the age that we're living in now, is that you guys can kind of see, like online, you can see what people are saying about it, and it's all out there for you. So it kind of like the product development, you don't even have to hire like testers. It's already out there for the next time that you guys are coming around doing it. Is there like a certain point where you guys are deciding for the following year, like, hey, are we going to introduce a new product? Are we going to cut a product? Is there like a certain time of year that happens?
Yeah, I mean, it's generally like, I'd say like anywhere between like 10 months to like 10 to 12 months out from the following year. So, we've already looked at 2020 Series 1 baseball. Like we're already working on that.
Yeah.
We've looked at Heritage or like something like, stuff that's going to be coming out within the next 10 months. We look at to see if we're going to continue with it.
Right.
Usually though, like if they're going to continue with something or like take it off the calendar, it's probably decided even like before that, because there are like meetings after the fact to be like, hey, how did this product perform? Like, are people buying it? Do people want it? So we do discuss that like after a product comes out.
Now, and a couple more questions. We won't take too much of your time. We know you guys are busy over there at your guys' booth, and it's rocking and rolling over there. As far as your guys' autographs, I think you guys maybe were the only ones that most of the stuff is witnessed, right? You guys have a representative watching the player sign.
Yeah, like I've done signings, like, and they're always fun. I'm going to pull up a fun one because it was my favorite signing ever. But we all witness our signings because, well, we have to. You know, we want to make sure that everything is authentic, and we want to make sure that you know,
the player's mom's not signing for him or something. Yeah.
We actually, it's funny, and I'm not going to name the player, but we were actually at a signing once, and I looked at that. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What?" I was like, "That's not a good signature." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "People are paying good money for this." I'm like, "You have to sign it better." He's like, "You know what? You're right." And he like signed it much better after.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because I feel like some of the stuff that's not witnessed, you know, maybe the first auto, they're like, that took too long. I'm just going to do my initials really quick and get through it.
So it happens to come up at a funny time, but I did this signing.
Nice.
You know who that is?
I don't.
Okay, if you watch The Walking Dead, it's Jeffrey Dean
Oh,
Morgan.
okay. Yeah.
So one of the signings we did with Topps, I did that signing, just so I just wanted people to know what my favorite signing ever at Topps was.
How long did he sign, and how many cards did he sign?
So it was a bunch of cards. I remember a bunch of cards. It was March. I posted that March 3rd, 2017. So that's how long ago that was. It was about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And he was so cool. Honestly, like I'm a huge Supernatural fan. It's my favorite TV show of all time. And he was on Supernatural season 1.
That's the fairy tale one, right? Where it's different fairy tales mixed into one? No?
It's about two brothers who travel around killing vampires and demons and all this kinds of stuff. And
sounds good.
The next season 15. We could have a whole podcast on Supernatural, by the way.
Sounds like I gotta catch up.
Next season 15, and it's the final season, so it's very emotional to me.
Season 15.
And he was in season 1. He plays their dad. And so when we got like the Walking Dead license at the time, I was like, if we ever have a Jeffrey Dean Morgan signing, I'm the one. And they listened to me and they said,
nice.
"Hey, surprise!" And it was amazing. And he was honestly, he was so cool. He was the best. Like we had everything like we talk about, and he was same thing like we were talking about Gary before. He was like so positive too. That's what I loved about talking to him. Everything was like super positive.
Yeah, I'm sure you get some disgruntled guys like, well, you know, how many do I got to sign? You know, the funny story. I wanted because we actually hired in 2013. We hired Tyler Glasnow to do an event for us. Right? We had actually Tyler Glasnow, Josh Bell, and a couple other. They're all prospects at the time, and we were doing our event. We had they were opening up Bowman Chrome, and literally a Topps guy showed up with stickers at our event. So I'm like, do they have trackers on these guys? You know, like I was like, how did he know? Like, because like we were broadcasting, but we didn't broadcast where we were. And I'm like, obviously Tyler probably called him and said I'm here, but I'm like, hey, he's witnessing. So he had the envelopes. Guy was there, and this was in Arizona. So I was like, okay, their Topps is making sure that they're seeing Tyler sign these stickers. So
that's what it is. It's like just signing, and then they sign like a little sheet at the end that says like, I'm me, and I sign my stuff as me.
Right. Well, I think you guys are the only ones that have the wordage, and I don't know if it's on every single card, but you guys are the only one that have the version on the back that says this card is witnessed. So I know other companies say authentic.
They have it guaranteed by that company, but doesn't say anything about being witnessed. Topps, I think, is the only one who has it.
Right. So that's a good thing. If you guys are out there and you're new to collecting, that you know that Topps is witnessing everything. And I'm not saying the other companies aren't, but the verbiage there, and we've seen it firsthand that stuff is that stuff's witnessed.
Well,
so
we take pride in that, like me being trustworthy. Like we want to make sure, because I remember too, we were at Star Wars Celebration, and somebody came by our booth not realizing like it was Topps, and because like we had all these autographs, and he's like, how do I know these are real? And I started explaining him our authentication process that we have for Star Wars Authentics, where the guy, like there's people who come and they witness this and they're stickering all this stuff. And as I started explaining, he suddenly looked up and he saw Topps on the thing. He goes, "Oh, you're Topps. Of course they're real." And then he was like, that was it. That's all he needed to hear. And I was like, okay, sorry, I could have just led with that.
A nice segue there to the Star Wars. I wanted you to talk about the website and the podcast you do for Dork Side of the Force.
Dork Side of the Force.
Nice. How'd that come to be, and when did it start?
So it started probably a little over a year ago.
Okay.
I was the editor for this. I started as the editor for the site. I love Star Wars, and I'm a writer by sort of nature, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
My job before working at Topps, I was a reporter. So I worked at the Press of Atlantic City in South Jersey, and then I worked at Beckett as their basketball, football, and hockey editor, and then started working at Topps. But I've always been a writer, and so this gave me an outlet to do writing and also about something I love. And then the opportunity, they were like, "Hey, we're looking for people to do podcasts," and I'm like, I can do a podcast, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, sure. Clearly not as good as the hype.
I doubt it. This is lowbrow. So
Well, like right now my equipment is like my internal mic in my laptop and Skype, so this is way better than my kitchen. So.
Well, Dan used to work in a music store, or else I'd be doing the same thing. I wouldn't know how to hook up mics or do any of this stuff. So
I got one job.
Yeah,
I got one job.
And you do a great job.
Oh, thank you.
So that's awesome. So how do you even find time to manage all of that?
I don't.
Yeah.
There's days I go to sleep, I'm like, I could have done 8 other things today, but it's Tops comes first as far as like work goes, and then it's either like sometimes I'm writing on the train or after my son goes to sleep at night, but when I come home, my family's number one at home, and that's what I focus on at that time.
Now, I saw that your mom didn't throw out your cards.
She's the best, right?
Right? And my mom did, so if you're watching, Mom, like, what the heck? But when did you start card collecting?
So my brother and my cousins would collect cards, and I'd always, like, want to, like, also collect cards. But they're like, you're a girl. And I'm like, oh, okay.
What?
But no, they were good. I'm actually, like, the biggest sports fan in my family, so they're cool with that. But they were like, these are my cards. You can't have my cards. I'm like, okay. So I would collect cards. Like, my mom would send me, this is like, back in the day where everything was safe, right? My parents would send me to like the corner store to go buy milk or whatever, and I would take the change and use the change to buy packs of cards, and that's how I would get my trading cards. And then it was until I was like 16, 17, and I got my first part-time job. And so instead of being responsible and saving my money, I was writing checks out like every single day to people on eBay to buy my Derek Jeter cards. And I'm like, all right, to this guy, to the gosh, you remember that, like having to write out checks all the time?
Yep.
So I'm like sending out checks and checks and checks to people buying Derek Jeter cards on eBay. And I slowed down a little bit in college and post college just because life got busy, and then around 2005, probably picked it up again and never looked back.
Never looked back. Was the Derek Jeter your most memorable card from your childhood, or was there another card that was like that was the one that you always went back to?
When I first started collecting, it was like 1990 Score, so I remember those cards as well. But like,
did that have the hologram in the pack would have a hologram too?
Maybe it was Fleer. It's the yellow border one.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
That's like 90 Fleer.
90 Fleer, that's what it was. That was the one I remember collecting. Like, I'd go to the store, and that's what they had, like, on the counter at the at the corner store.
Yeah, I remember that. There was somebody just tweeted out that it might have been one of the ugliest designs in history with the yellow
and it's the only one I remember.
Well, at least they made it memorable that way, right?
Yep.
So
exactly.
I know for me it was 91 Stadium Club, and me and my dad built like the whole set.
Cool.
So with Frank Thomas, and they had the classic Nolan Ryan with the.
Was that the one where he's in the suit?
Yes, with the pitching with the suit. So that was awesome. So, well, that's pretty much it for the Mojo sessions today with Suze from Tops. We appreciate you stopping by, and
this is my first time I've been on a Mojo podcast.
Definitely, I think. Well, you were on when we did Sports Card Live back in the day. Where was the call-in show? I remember that, yeah. Yeah, and it was mostly Ryan at the time that was interviewing you. I think we were just sitting there listening, but we were there. So,
didn't find your voice yet?
What's that?
You didn't find your voice yet?
No, I was too nervous, and I just let Ryan go. So, but yeah, we appreciate you stopping by and check out Tops' booth. Everything they're going on. Get the pack wars, get the special packs, and check out their upcoming releases. They got Tribute coming out, which is 6 hits. We're going to have that on our site, Mojobreak.com, and Bowman Sterling I'm excited for. That's coming out in a few weeks as well. So, are you excited for Bowman Sterling? Are you sure? I haven't said it enough. You're excited? I haven't said it enough. No, you haven't. I need to get Alan here with the horn to show how excited I am for Sterling. So I'm gonna come over here and just start. Yeah, Sterling. Create a little chance. So. Awesome. Well, we thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. And thank you. We'll have to have you on again. So it was awesome. Awesome. I'll watch the Star Wars movies and I'll be able to have a better conversation. Okay. So I actually feel bad. I've only seen one Star Wars in my life. I've seen Return of the Jedi. That's a good one. That's the only one I've ever seen. That's a good one. I need to. Although, you've missed a whole lot of story. Yeah. I've only watched the first 3 originals, so at least I have it up on you. So. Yeah, I mean, I need to catch up on Harry Potter as well. I think I've seen 3 of those. I've seen 0. So. I quit after a while on those. I read all the books, but it was after the 3rd movie, I was I can't anymore. Yeah. I feel like I'm missing a lot of just culture. Without knowing everything about Star Wars. There's a lot of references, Star Wars references, and I'm I have no idea what you're talking about. Right. Yeah, I have a 2 and a 4-year-old, so I'm proficient in Toy Story, 4, Moana, all the Disney movies. I'm locked in. I could probably have a Disney movie podcast. That's how many times I've seen it. My little one watches Coco every day.
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Every day.
I could have a Disney Junior podcast. Yeah. Let's talk about
I know.
Paw Patrol.
Yep, and what's the one with the baby, the tots?
Oh,
yeah.
Yesterday, I called my husband and have the kid, my son on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, he's singing
if you're here tomorrow, you can wear it.
Singing? He's like, he's singing tots.
Yep. My 2 daughters both are loving it and singing it. Put it on. And then she sees all the episodes already, and she's like, I want a new one. And I'm like, there's not a new one yet.
It just came out last month. You gotta wait.
And then she's hooked on YouTube. I can't even imagine, because we had 14 channels growing up, and she's mad about the ads. She's like, make it go faster. And I'm like, we had VHSs.
We had to go out and move the antenna around.
Right,
You're so lucky.
Yeah, UHF, VHF. It was lucky to come in,
We sound like our parents now,
I know, I totally am. Get off my lawn, right? Type thing. You guys don't know how lucky you have it, so. But awesome. We'll wrap this up, and thanks for stopping by again. Good times.
Yep. Thank you.
Was that live?
It was.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know I can't even hear anything. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, it definitely helps out with the headphones.
Yeah, but now it's everything sounds funny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, your ears are adjusting back to normal life now.
Oh my gosh. I just got this. Oh,
what a cutie.
The school picture.
Oh, nice. That's an awesome.
Oh my god.
That's an awesome picture.
He never smiles for me in pictures.
Yeah, definitely at that age, it's hard to get him to smile on command.
He looks at me. I'm like, Dean, smile. And he's like, smile. And he's looking over here. I'm like,
my 5-year-old now's moved into the cheesy smile. It's like, the fake one. Let's see if I can. There's my 2 little ones.
oh my goodness.
She's getting ready. They're going to I'm missing it, unfortunately. Every year at the National, they do a Portuguese play.
Yeah.
And they're going to Palm Springs, and it's once again, it's on the National Weekend.
Of course
again.
it is.
So last year it was, this year it is. So yeah, it's a lot easier to fly out when you didn't have kids. I didn't have to miss them.
Yeah, I agree. I remember in passing, yeah, let's go, and now I'm like, do I have to?
I know. Can we shorten the trip a little bit?